What is good? What is up? It's Jordan, or Texans Thoughts, and I'm back with another video today. I'm going to be breaking down our new running back, Phillip Lindsay. Nick has been on fire with his moves recently and somehow quickly scooped up Lindsay after the Broncos stupidly decided not to bring him back, but hey, their loss. We've added serious speed to what's shaping up to be a pretty strong running back committee with Mark Ingram and David Johnson. Now with running backs, scheme fit and offensive line play is everything. And I've talked a lot about how the Texans look to bring the Ravens' power running scheme. So how does 5'8", 190-pound Lindsay fit? Well, that's what I'm going to show y'all today, making a comparison to Ravens' J.K. Dobbins. So if you enjoy the video, hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and comment down below your thoughts on the new addition. Now, let's break down the film of Phillip Lindsay, because the film don't lie. Let's start with the first thing that jumps off the tape with Lindsay, and that is his track star speed. He is hands down the fastest running back the Texans have had in franchise history, running an impressive 4.3940. And it's not just his testing speed, that translates to his play speed on the field. We've completely revamped our running back weapons, and adding this dynamic element will help create more explosive plays, where we already ranked first in the NFL in explosive passing plays, but just 19th in explosive runs. The Broncos are running a draw here, and it's so impressive how Lindsay can keep his speed while making these jump cuts. He pairs that track speed with great agility and elusiveness, which allows him to gain extra yards that aren't blocked for him. These big plays keep him an efficient runner, averaging 5.4, 4.5, and 4.3 yards per carry in his first 3 years. That elite athleticism allows him to get out of tricky situations, which is useful because, the blocking just isn't always going to be perfect. We're talking about a Texans line that will have a lot of turnover and a new offensive line coach, so things could be a bit rocky in the beginning, but Lindsay has a different level of juice than David and Duke Johnson did, as he's always able to threaten the edge. And that ability to use his speed to constantly put pressure on the edge of defenses is something that will be crucial to the success of our power run game. Years ago, when I first started learning about run schemes and heard the words, power run scheme, I thought, okay, you need your massive running back, your Derrick Henrys of the world, to run behind your massive offensive line and power the ball up the middle for consistent 3, 4, 5 yard gains. But that's not really what all power schemes are about, and the Ravens specifically like to switch things up. They love to attack the edges, using pullers to create space, and so when you have a running back who has elite speed to stretch defenses out horizontally, but can also read and manipulate those pulling offensive linemen, you've got a dangerous combination. Take this run for example. The Ravens are in a heavy formation with an extra offensive lineman, a fullback, and a tight end, all in a condensed formation. They're going to pull the left tackle and left guard, looking to attack the edge, where they have a numbers advantage, not the middle, where the Giants are putting their biggest, strongest run defenders. The Ravens get great blocking on the edge, but what turns this from a 5-yard gain into a 23-yard gain is J.K. Dobbins' patience, and then acceleration. Look at his run path, going very wide to widen out this cornerback and create an alley to run through. Because the cornerback is so wide, Dobbins needs to give his guard time to go out and get him in space, so he slows down just a bit, varying his pace, then bursts through the hole when it appears. There's a lot of nuance involved in running power with pullers, and Lindsay exhibits all the traits you could want from a running back in this scheme. You see his patience in trying to allow his offensive lineman to pull here. On the last play, we saw Dobbins start out wide, then cut it up, because the cornerback he was manipulating started out wide. But on this play, Lindsay is trying to manipulate this linebacker who starts from the inside. So he needs to set him up inside first with this hesitation, running close behind his puller, then accelerating outside once the linebacker has bitten down enough. The Broncos line was not very good at pulling, but often Lindsay could make up for a bad block by making a linebacker look silly. And again, when he's in the open field, good luck catching him. On this play, the Broncos are going to pull the right guard, and he's supposed to pull where his right hip is close to the left tackle's left hip. So although it might look like a bad block by him, it's actually just good design by the Chargers defense to try and blow up this play. But Lindsay still makes sure it doesn't matter. Since this defensive tackle slants inside, the linebacker replaces his gap, and also wins to the outside of the left tackle, making it impossible for the right guard to make it through that gap in time. So, Lindsay is now one-on-one with the linebacker. Not the ideal look, but he makes up for it by cutting behind this right guard and making that bad block into a good one. And then he makes a safety miss in space, and something we really struggled with last year, and boom, that's a 55-yard touchdown. To run power, you need to have very quick mental processing as a running back, reading what's happening all around you, and having the ability to stop on a dime and explode in a different direction. That vision and smooth, quick feet Lindsay has pairs beautifully in the scheme, as he can weave in and out of trouble and then get to the edge to maximize yards. He's going to make defenses very tired by constantly getting east-west, covering a shit ton of ground, and he's a great complement to Mark Ingram, who in my recent video on him, I mentioned how he's best at getting north-south, not east-west like Lindsay. But Lindsay is a very well-rounded back, someone who can threaten the edge. However, once you overplay that edge, he can cut it back inside and punish you. Just like J.K. Dobbins, Lindsay understands to take whatever the defense gives him, not being too greedy, but knowing when to maximize yardage. Similar to the last Lindsay play, look at these linebackers overplay the pullers. They're just so worried about containing Dobbins' speed that they leave a gaping hole for him to cut through. I'm extremely excited to see all the variations and combinations of pullers the Texans use this season. I've shown how Marcus Cannon and Justin Britt fit the equation in recent videos, and now we have an electric running back to add even more yards on top. We've seen glimpses of this power running game with pullers 2 years ago versus the Chiefs. Left guard Max Sharping was making great blocks all day and really opened up lanes for Duke Johnson. Now, I've been a fan of Duke for a while and wish him the best, but Lindsay is faster and just a better overall runner who would get even more yards in these scenarios. Now, I've talked a lot about Lindsay in the confines of what I think our run scheme will be, but ultimately, he's a do-it-all running back. He can run behind pullers and power, he can read gap runs like duo, or inside and outside zone as well. On this very popular gap run called duo that almost every gap power team calls, Lindsay sees that the play side A gap, B gap, and C gap are all completely bottled up, but the edge is looking pretty. So in one cut, he bounces outside. Now he doesn't get too wide though, because he sees the cornerback coming down in run support. So again, in one fluid motion, he cuts upfield, maximizing yardage. Those quick, smooth feet are really what makes him such a consistent runner. The long speed is what gets everyone excited, and rightfully so. He creates big plays, but personally I love the smooth cuts that get him those consistent 5, 6, 7 yard gains just as much. You see that cutting ability a lot on his zone runs, where he has that smooth one-cut running style to go from east-west to north-south in a hurry. This can be a good change-up the Texans throw once defenses get into their lighter personnel, trying to stop Lindsay's speed on the edge or the pass game, then boom, he plants that foot in the ground and gets upfield where the defense is weak. The last thing I wanted to quickly touch on is the passing game. Lindsay had 70 catches in his first 2 seasons, and I think there's a lot more to unlock here. The Broncos limited his route tree to a lot of swing passes and checkdowns underneath, and while it's definitely beneficial to get him out in space, I think he has all the athletic qualities to be a dangerous route runner downfield. So, hopefully the Texans can look to unlock some of that potential there. Honestly, after watching 3 years of Lindsay's tape, I really don't see a reason why the Broncos moved on from him. Every Broncos fan that I've interacted with or seen the reactions on Twitter are pissed off that they let Lindsay go. They feel he was disrespected, and they all wish him the best and know that he'll ball out with us though. Now, he did have a knee and hip injury in 2020, which that plus splitting the carries with Melvin Gordon kind of caused his production to dip in 2020 compared to 2018 and 19, but the talent is still all there. And I'm really excited to see he, Mark Ingram, and David Johnson all running hard on these prove-it deals, raising that level of competition and hopefully getting the best out of each other. Alright, that's going to do it for the video. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on Phillip Lindsay edition. Huge shout out to all the Texans Thoughts team members. Appreciate every single one of you. If you want to join the team, link is in the description. Alright, take care everyone. Come back for more. And remember, the film don't lie.